Hello everybody, welcome back again. Today I am at a cemetery in the middle of the country, and it looks at first glance just like a normal cemetery, but I think there is a little hidden part behind it here, and there's a little church building that I want to check out. I'm not sure if the church is actually still active, if it's open or not, but I noticed when you look on the maps, you see what I'm seeing here, which is just this small little area of graves. But behind me here is this little patch of woods, and if you look from the maps, it actually appears that through the woods behind me there is another section of the cemetery which may be much, much older. Well, the only thing I'm worried about is a lot of these places out in the country to prevent people from doing stupid things in the cemeteries will have patrols, and if for some reason they patrol that area while my car is there and they don't see me, but they would tow my car, and I would have no idea where my car ended up. At least we took the interesting way to get here. And had we taken the easy way, I wouldn't have found this cool little stonework here on the side. You can see there's a piece of, looks like an old vase, and then a few jars. I'm not sure why the jars are there though. It definitely appears to be older. The graves are not in as good of condition, but it's so interesting looking. Oh yeah, I definitely just wasted my time going this way, because this is the road here, and you can see the church at the end of the road. But oh well. This thing is so long. It goes all the way back there to the tree line, and then into it. Oh, look at this. I don't ever understand why they don't just take some of the weeds and stuff out and landscape around in areas like this, because it's clearly cared for. This is really neat here. Now, the reason being is that it's so tall and thin. I've actually never seen one of this design to be this large. You can see, look how thin it is. You can even see, like, right around in this area is where it's starting to buckle, and it might end up eventually, well, it will end up eventually falling over. And look at this, very oddly placed grave, right in the middle of the others. Let's see what the name is on this. Stephen A. Fowers, 1872. Oh, it is Powers, excuse me. And this is the Powers grave marker here, but different names. This is by far one of the more packed old graveyards that I've seen for being such a rural area. And I mean, I am way out in the middle of nothing. I wonder what those belong to. It actually looks like, does it have writing on it? I don't know, I can't really tell, I don't think so. But if this used to be a population center, it is no longer that way. It is a bunch of farmland, a few parks, like state parks, wildlife areas, and then anything else surrounding that is like lake country. So just to have this sheer number of graves that this place does have is a little extraordinary. And over here too, we have a few more of these unique tall tall, thin style graves. And what really gets me is that for having so many of them here, which it seems like there's some more as we go back, none of them actually seem to be toppled over. This graveyard is in great condition for how old it really is, and especially the area that it's in, because this area of all areas gets way more rain, way worse weather than a lot of different areas in Indiana. And if you saw the recent video that I did of the tri-state marker, this is only about 20 minutes away from the tri-state marker, so we're right in the Indiana, Ohio, Michigan area. This row here ends with this little guy right here, 1885. That's a cool little one. Most of the writing's been worn off. Very difficult to tell what it is. And this is a newer one like we've discussed before, where the families have come out and replaced the stones over the years. And this is interesting. It has 3 little slots in it. I wonder what the grooves there are for. Well, it looks like we finally found a few veterans. These are going to be Civil War veterans, or of the era. If there was any other type of veteran at that time, it could have been small. I suppose if it's old enough, Native American skirmishes, but most of these are going to be Civil War. But you can see somebody's definitely out here replacing the flags, which is nice. And here's another row that just has a odd grave standing in the center of it. So this is the row here, and then here's our grave in the middle, and this is the other row behind us here. There's a few different graves like this, not just in this graveyard, but it seems really weird for the organizational structure of the cemetery. So if you know what the reason is behind putting graves in weird spots like that, let us know. Maybe it's a family thing. I'm assuming that's probably the explanation behind it. It's so hard a lot of times with these cemeteries to really truly capture them the way I'd love to. There's so many unique and amazing markers, so much beauty here that I feel like I walk away a lot of times having almost done a disservice or not done the best that I possibly could, because there's just so much that I have to end up leaving behind. So there was one we did a while ago, and I think it's already been uploaded and on the channel, and it was very deep like this one, but the graves were so sparse and spread out, and this one really is just filled, and I can't get over that. And here, once again, I keep talking about these in a few different videos. This is not real stone. This is a metal grave here that has been made to look like stone. But a really good job, and it's actually held up better than many of the stone markers have. And then this here, of course, to some untrained eyes would from a distance look like a normal tree or a tree stump, but is in fact a grave marker. One of my favorites. Such elaborate detail. They really, even from a distance, look so much like just a normal stump. And not that part, obviously, but those little wagon wheels actually aren't something that's normally on them. Starting to get a little bit more decay and destruction in the back of the graveyard. I'm seeing some of the tops that have fallen off here. A lot of more worn out graves. And it looks like quite a few that have suffered from erosion over here. This is quite a steep grade going down here, which is kind of sad because it makes me wonder how much longer until it's eroded away enough that the casket inside, or whatever's left of the casket, will actually start to show through, or maybe the vault, if it's actually one of those graves that has a vault to contain the casket. So that's kind of sad. So here at the tree line is this amazing row of graves. This is obviously the Dunham family. It's a neat place because with the sun coming down, it's sort of like it makes this entryway to the back side of the graveyard, and it almost makes it look like a wall, a gateway into the back side. So here is a very clear Civil War veteran, Cornelius Petty, 129th Indiana Infantry, Civil War. A few there have just become so worn away, they're no longer able to be identified. Hopefully this marker behind it, having the same last name as the war veteran, maybe that was to replace those old markers. So I'm coming up here on this grave. I thought it was the last one, but in fact there are more than a few more behind it. We are definitely running into a greater concentration of war veterans at the back side of this cemetery. I'm starting to see a lot of stars. But as you can see, over here is another grave, a little bit deeper into the woods. And there's a little one in the middle that I just missed when I was panning over. I'm assuming this is probably just maybe one grave here, maybe two, and that this big one is a replacement stone. You see here the path continues on around past this little small stone here, which no longer can be read, unfortunately, and then continues on down this way into the woods, and it looks like there's only 2 more graves. And then beyond this, according to that sign right there, is private property, and I don't want to be caught on there. Looks like it might have been a few people. A couple flags. A few different veteran stars. Such a strange layout, as it curves around back on itself. You can see up there, up that hill, is the main section of the cemetery, and then I took that path on around this way to this final grave right here. Jacob Trope. You know, maybe the most hidden of all the graves here, but I kind of feel like by far these few here are the most beautiful and the most tranquil, serene place. Not a bad final resting spot. I think I've gotten most of the interesting stones and markers to check out, so I'm going to run up here to the church and see exactly what I can find out about that, and maybe if it's actually abandoned as well. found this one really interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that marker is. There's a similar one over here, and then there's one right here. FLTR on the right-hand one. If anybody knows what that stands for, it's clearly some sort of veteran marking. If you know what division that would be, or what section of the military that would be, make sure to let me know. Look at this here. Now I'm assuming this was originally some sort of photo frame. Whatever photo would have been in there, looks like somebody actually took the time to knock the glass out, which is really unfortunate. But how neat is that? It's great. Well, I've lost memory space. Apparently I've recorded too much today. But I wanted to definitely include a little bit of footage of this cool church. I'm not sure it's abandoned. And also pretty sure I heard a car pull in at the cemetery next door where I parked. And so I'm not really sure what's about to happen. I'll definitely record if something does happen. But I wanted to, oh my God. Look at that cool place. How neat of a building is that? That's gotta be in use. I love it though. That is so cool. It's got a plaque here. The door is locked. I haven't looked at this sign out here, but it looks so official that it's gotta be in use still. But I would love to go inside. Definitely doesn't look like there's a way in unless I find who's caring for it currently, which is probably the Historical Society. But I'm not really sure where that's located around here, so I guess I'll have to settle for a really cool video of the cemetery and an interesting outside look from the church. Apparently I need to purchase some more memory cards and more batteries. You can see this amazing old church building still in use today. Love it. And behind it is just this amazing old graveyard. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, hope you guys all have a good one. I will see you guys in the next one.